Sup nerds, I'm JeebusPlatinum. Welcome back to Mass Effect. I have a brief disclaimer before we get going again. So it's been a bit since I've recorded and or played this game, so if there's anything that I've completely forgotten or I miss, definitely keep me on my toes in the comment section. FTL comlink, and I get some experience. So last episode was awesome. It did take us a while to complete, and that's totally my fault. But we were able to get Dr. Liara, and she's now on the crew. We beat the Krogan Battlemaster in epic fashions. It was actually a rather dull fight, but we did it. We learned a lot also about the Protheans, about the Reapers, and really Liara was going over how she believes that civilizations rise and then are destroyed and pretty much completely removed from the universe, and then another civilization takes its place, which is an interesting theory. And also a little bit of foreshadowing potentially is that the how do we say this, I guess the empire that is currently in existence, which I am now a specter for, could potentially be in danger if that is the trend. So let's talk to some crew members, and then I think we're gonna have to figure out where we need to go next, which I'll have to figure out.
If anyone has to take over for Captain Anderson, I'm glad it's you. I'm not sure about having non-humans on our ship, though.
Let's investigate.
Speak freely, Presley. I want to know if you have a problem with non-humans.
It's not that, Commander. Humanity has always handled its own problems. Saren attacked one of our colonies. We should be the ones to stop him. We don't need their help.
Sounds kind of racist.
Speak freely, Presley.
Oh,
I want to
just
know
asked
if you
that
have a
question.
problem with non-humans.
It's not that, Commander. Humanity has always handled its own problems. Saren attacked one of our colonies. We should be the ones to stop him. We don't need their help.
Okay, let's continue to investigate. This time we're going to go to personal questions.
How did you end up assigned to the Normandy?
I signed up with the Alliance as a navigator right out of school, following in my grandfather's footsteps, I guess. My first posting was on the Agincourt. We were one of the first reinforcements to arrive at Elysium after the Blitz hit. Those raiders were no match for an Alliance frigate. Of course, the only reason the colony was still standing was because of you, Commander. I can't believe you held out as long as you did.
How did you end up on the Normandy?
I got my officer's commission after Elysium. Must have made an impression on the right people. Captain asked for me when he was picking his crew.
I think that's everything.
Carry on, Presley.
Yes, sir.
Carry on, Presley. Point defense system. Okay. I'm sure there'll be something for me to read in the codex, which again, we'll take care of at another time. Let's see if this guard has anything to say. No, just a salute. Appreciate it. And I'll be honest, no clue where we're headed. An elevator. So I really want to have conversations with people. See what Caden has to say. I know you guys mentioned, I'm pretty sure you did earlier, that it would be beneficial to talk to everybody after missions. And so that's what we're going to do.
Anything you need, Commander?
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
Is this an official evaluation, Commander? Or off the record?
All right. Let's label it officially off the record. Got something on your mind?
Straight up, there's something wrong with all of this. This Saren is looking for records on some kind of galactic extinction, but we can't get backup from the Council? Sorry, Commander. There's writing on the wall here, but someone isn't reading it.
The Council doesn't want to believe anything's wrong. I'd call it human nature, but...
I hear you. It just seems like a group that's been around as long as the Council should see this coming. Sorry if I got too informal. Protocol wasn't a big focus back in Bot.
Tell me about it.
Biotic acclimation and temperance didn't last past the airlock. To the kids they hauled in, it was brain camp. Sorry, hauled in is unkind. We were encouraged to commit to an evaluation of our abilities so an understanding of biotics could be compiled. There are worse results of accidental exposure to element zero in the womb. Beats the brain tumors some kids grew up with.
Is there some question about how you were exposed?
My mother was downwind of a transport crash. It was before there were human biotics, a little after the discovery of the Martian ruins. It only gets iffy around 63 when Kinetics was running out of first-gen subjects. Until then, they'd relied on accidentals. A bunch of guys in suits show up at your door after school, and next thing you know, you're out on Jump Zero.
Jump Zero is Gagarin Station, right? What's it like?
Yeah, that's the official name. Biggest and farthest facility we had for decades. Right on the termination shock, the outer edge of the solar system. It's where they did all the Goose Chase FTL research before we caught on to using mass effect fields. It was a sterile research platform when I was there.
So this is all really interesting. He apparently was exposed to biotics, possibly, and so he has abilities from it, is what I'm catching. And then he was put into, not sure if it was a school or more of just a research facility to kind of see what he was capable of.
You know of any intentional exposures for certain?
No one knows. Doesn't mean they didn't happen. As big as the exposures were, it was hard to track down accidentals. It was different then. No one knew the potential, so there wasn't a lot of regulation. Anything Kinetics did was gold. I'm not saying they intentionally detonated drives over our outposts, but in retrospect, they were damn quick on the scene.
There were other kids in the same boat, right? At least you weren't alone out there.
That's true. We did have a little circle that'd get together every night before lights out. We didn't have much to do, though. It was a research platform then, and Kinetics kept Jump Zero off the extranet to prevent leaks.
Then you must have had plenty of time to get to know each other.
Yeah, we'd sit around and bull every night after dinner, play cards or network games. There was this girl named Rana, who had a little circle grow up around her. She was from Turkey. Her family was very rich, but she was smart and charming as hell. Beautiful, but not stuck up about it. I think you'd have liked her.
Sounds like he liked her.
Sounds like she was special to you.
She was. Maybe she felt the same, but things never felt together. Training, you know.
That's rough. Okay, I think that's about everything. That was actually really interesting in regards to biotics and a little bit of a personal touch for Caden there.
Jump Zero is a long way from home. What was it like?
The grand gateway to humanity looks a lot better in the vids. But that's my own baggage, Commander. No bearing on this.
Alenko, there's no regulation that says you can't be friends with your commander.
I appreciate that, Commander. I just don't want you to think that I'm a whiner. Besides, I've got my past squared away.
Cool. All right, let's carry on. This sleeper pod and experience. Okay, we'll head back up to deck, and if we don't see anyone on the way up there, we'll probably check space. Oh, let's do this. Awesome. And by that I mean equipment, guns, weapons, things like that. I'm going to talk to her, but that's been one thing I've been pretty bad at. I apologize about that, is upgrading that stuff. Again, this game is totally new to me. A lot of you guys have played it probably quite a few times. If you're watching it for the first time, then we're both equally confused, but I'm trying to do my best to upgrade that. And let's talk to Dr. Chakwaz.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
How well do you know the lieutenant?
I'd never worked with him before this mission, but he has an impressive service record, over a dozen special commendations. Tends to keep to himself, though. Maybe because of the headaches. It's not easy being an L2.
What does that have to do with it?
Well, most biotics now use the L3 implants. Lieutenant Alenko was wired with the old L2 configuration. Sometimes there are complications.
I feel like I've had this conversation before. If I have, remind me and let me know which episode, because I don't remember.
What kind of complications?
Severe mental disabilities, insanity, crippling physical pain. There's a long list of horrific side effects. Caden's lucky. He just gets migraines.
Yep, those are pretty horrific. I'm pretty sure I've talked to her before. I'm going to continue this.
How did you end up serving on an Alliance ship?
I enlisted right out of med school. Earth always seemed boring to me.
Yep.
Too safe, too secure. I figured the colonies were teeming with exotic adventure. I wanted to travel the stars, tending the wounds of tough soldiers with piercing eyes and sensitive souls. Turns out military life isn't quite as romantic as I'd imagined. But humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep expanding through the Traverse, and the Alliance always needs good doctors. So I stayed on to do my part.
Okay, I've definitely had this full conversation with her, so I'm just going to back out and say my
I should
farewells.
go.
Goodbye, Commander.
All right. Liara, hello.
Commander, are you coming to check up on me?
You look much better. How are you feeling?
Dr. Chakwas assures me I am going to be fine. I was impressed with her knowledge of Asari physiology.
You're in good hands. Dr. Chakwas knows what she's doing.
I never properly thanked you for saving me from the Geth, Commander. If you hadn't shown up,
I'm just glad we got there in time.
so am I. I know you took a chance bringing me aboard this ship. I have seen the way your crew looks at me. They do not trust me. But I am not like Benezia. I will do whatever I can to help you stop Saren. I promise.
Don't worry, Liara. I trust you. I know you won't let me down.
It means a lot to hear you say that, Commander. Thank you.
Tell me about yourself, Liara.
Me? I am afraid I am not very interesting, Commander. I spend most of my time on remote digs, unearthing mundane items buried in long-forgotten Prothean ruins.
Ooh, you must get lonely. Easy there, Shepard.
Sounds dangerous. And lonely.
Sometimes I would run afoul of indigenous life forms or stumble across a small band of mercenaries or privateers, but I was always careful. Until the Geth followed me to Artemis Tau, I never found myself in any situation my biotics could not handle. As for the solitude, well, that is one aspect that most appealed to me. Sometimes I just need to get away from other people.
You don't like other people?
I suppose it comes from being a matriarch's daughter. People expected me to follow in Benezia's footsteps. They wanted me to become a leader of our people. Matriarchs guide their followers into the future. They seek the truth of what is yet to come. Maybe that's why I became so interested in the secrets of the past. It sounds so foolish when I say it out loud. It sounds like I became an archaeologist simply to spite Benezia.
All children rebel against their parents. It's a natural part of growing up.
Aha, you share the wisdom of the matriarch, Shepard. That is exactly what Benezia said when I told her of my decision. But there was more to it than that. I felt drawn to the past. The Protheans were these wondrous, mysterious figures. I wanted to know everything about them. That is why I find you so fascinating. You were marked by the beacon on Eden Prime. You were touched by working Prothean technology.
Sounds like you want to dissect me in a lab somewhere.
What? No! I did not mean to insinuate. I never meant to offend you, Shepard. I only meant that you would be an interesting specimen for an in-depth study. No, that's even worse.
Calm down, Liara. I was only joking.
Joking? Oh, by the goddess, how could I be so dense? You must think I am a complete and utter fool. Now you know why I prefer to spend my time in the field with data disks and computers. I always seem to say something embarrassing around other people. Please, just pretend this conversation never happened.
She's cute.
I'd like to know more about the Asari.
We were the first species to discover the Citadel. We were instrumental in forming the Council, and we always strive to be the voice of peaceful cooperation in galactic disputes. My people believe we are all part of a single galactic community. Each species contributes something to the greater whole. Although we seek to understand other species, it seems few of them seek to understand us. The galaxy is filled with rumors and misinformation about my people.
Like what?
Most of the inaccuracies are centered around our mating rituals. My species is monogendered. Male and female have no real meaning for us. We still require a partner to reproduce. This second parent, however, may be of any species and any gender.
So my options are, how is that possible, or that's disgusting? Let's go with this one.
I don't understand. Your species can mate with anyone?
Mating is not quite the proper term, not as you understand it. Physical contact may or may not be involved, but it is not an essential element of the union. The true connection is mental. Our physiology allows us to meld with other beings. We can touch the very depths of their minds. We explore the genetic memory of their species. We share the most basic elements of their individual and racial identities. We then pass these traits on to our daughters. It is how we learn to grow as a species and how we develop a greater understanding of other races.
That's actually pretty awesome. Can you imagine if that's how humans, well, not mated, but really connected, is by just melding their minds and the physical aspect was completely removed? Or maybe not completely, but there wasn't as much importance put on it.
What happens to your partner after the union?
Every relationship is different. Some unions are a single encounter with both parents parting ways afterwards. Others can be more long-term. Sometimes an Asari and her partner will stay together for many decades.
Do you know who Matriarch Benezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my father, if you want to use that term, was another Asari.
I thought you always needed another species to serve as one of the parents.
Think about it, Shepard. If we were not able to mate with our own species, we would have died out long before we ever mastered spaceflight and left our homeworld. Union with our own kind is no longer common, not for the purposes of reproduction. Most Asari believe it weakens our species. Asari daughters inherit racial traits from the father species. If both parents are Asari, then nothing has been gained, or so conventional wisdom would hold. I am what is sometimes called a pureblood. Though no Asari would ever be cruel enough to say the word to my face, it is a great insult among my people. It is possible Benezia's partner was embarrassed by their union. She may have been too ashamed to publicly acknowledge me as her offspring.
Maybe she wanted to meet you but couldn't. Something could have happened to her. Maybe she passed away.
You might be right. I hope you are. But I have no way to know for sure. Benezia never spoke of her partner. Whatever happened, it caused her too much pain to dwell on it. She raised me by herself, though that is not uncommon. Many Asari raise their children alone, particularly if the father species is short-lived. Often the partner will pass on long before the child reaches maturity.
You Asari live for 1,000 years. What happens when your partner dies?
Few sapient species live as long as my kind. We have learned to take a philosophical approach to our unions. We do not focus on the inevitable loss of our partners. Instead, we enjoy the time we spend with them. And even after they're gone, a part of them lives on in us. The union is a connection that transcends both time and space.
I like the sound of that. Now let's ask about Benezia, because she, from what I understand, is a bad, bad woman.
Do you know why Benezia joined up with Saren?
I don't understand it. She was always outspoken about the need for the Asari to become more involved in shaping galactic events. Maybe she thought allying herself with Saren would somehow be for the greater good in the long run. At least I hope so.
This hurts you, doesn't it?
None of this makes any sense to me. I have not spoken to Benezia in many years, but I know her, and this was not like her. Something changed.
Actually, I think there's a
Do you know why Benezia joined up with
couple more
Saren?
questions here.
I don't understand it. She was always outspoken about the need for the Asari to become more involved in shaping galactic events. Maybe she thought allying herself with Saren would somehow be for the greater good in the long run. At least I hope so.
Nope. Okay, I think that's everything.
I should go.
Goodbye, Shepard.
He's very to the point. So that was actually a really interesting conversation. We talked about mating for her species, as well as a couple other things. Her mother, who is probably going to play a pretty big role in the overall story of this game and the next two, potentially. So we're going to head back up, and I have a couple other crew members that I haven't talked to, so we'll see if we can find them. We are at about 20 minutes now, so probably to 30 would be fine. And it looks like we'll probably end up staying on the ship, but maybe not. A heat load monitor. I'm gonna have a lot to read. What's up, Joker?
I prefer gold to silver, you know, for my medal. I figured you'd recommend me for one since I pulled your boots out of the fire.
Pulled your boots out of the fire.
If we present you with a medal, you'll end up sitting on stage listening to politicians make speeches for a couple of hours. Fun.
That's a good point. They'd probably make me shave, too. I spent the last 7 weeks working on this baby. No medal's worth that. So, Commander, why don't you tell me why you're really here?
Let's ask about the ship.
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet, if you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
I like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain. You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
Wow. His mouth doesn't open all the way when he talks, but he thinks he's a good pilot. And
I'm sorry, Joker. I didn't even know you were sick.
You mean you didn't know? Oh, crap. Okay, I've got Vrolik syndrome, brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter. Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack! It's very dramatic. But I've learned to manage my condition, Commander. Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you know, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
Why does everyone call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff Moreau. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
You're dodging the question.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about never smiling. She started calling me Joker, and it stuck.
Why didn't you ever smile?
Hey, I worked my ass off in flight school, Commander. The world's not gonna hand you anything if you go around grinning like an idiot. By the end of the year, I was the best pilot in the academy, even better than the instructors, and everybody knew it. They'd all got their asses kicked by the sickly kid with the creaky little legs. One guess who was smiling at graduation?
How'd you end up joining the Alliance?
Look, if you're looking for an inspirational tale of the crippled kid overcoming impossible odds, you're gonna be disappointed. My mother was a civilian contractor working for the Alliance. I basically grew up on the Arcturus station back when they were building up the fleets. Spend all that time around Alliance ships, there's a good chance you'll end up going to the Academy.
Alright, I think that's everything from him. He's funny.
I have to go.
And level up. Let's actually go ahead, and I've got 4 points. So actually, I'm gonna not do this. I'm gonna ask you guys what you think I should put these 4 points into. So I have a decent amount into armor, pistols, throw, a couple in warp now, none in lift, which lifts everything. I guess the enemies just can't attack, and none in barrier, adept, charm, intimidate, and some spectre training. So let me know what you guys think would be best for these 4 points. We'll do that next episode, and then let's get to a door. Let's go to the galaxy map and see what's going on there. So I'm not positive what's next. Again, there was the leader of CSEC. There was a laptop and a message that we listened to, or no, we read, and it basically said that there was a group who felt exiled and that they wanted to start a new civilization of sorts elsewhere. And so I'm not sure if that was specifically for me or if that was for the captain of CSEC, but finding that would probably be pretty interesting. So let's zoom all the way out. Artemis Tau, the Milky Way. Okay, so we're at Artemis Tau. The Citadel is way over here, which is the main base. And I'm trying to figure out. So let's, I don't know, Pharos rings a bell and I don't know why. Hercules. Pharos. Theses. Let's go to Pharos.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Commander Shepard, my name is Nasana Dantius. I have a job for you. I can't say any more in an unsecured communication. If you're interested in hearing my offer, meet me on the Citadel so we can talk in person. I'll be waiting in the Diplomat's Lounge on the Presidium.
That is awesome. So, there's a job, and she can't tell us a whole lot more until we talk in person, but I would have to go all the way back to the Citadel. I'm not going to go to Pharos just yet. What I'll probably do is next episode we'll either explore Pharos. I don't know if I've been here before. I honestly don't remember. If not, then we will go back to the Citadel and see about that job. Again, I'm JeebusPlatinum. Thank you guys so much for watching. If I did miss anything or screw someone's name up or anything crazy because it's been a while, just let me know. And I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.